40 lash lady. I can have a bigger F than that. I can give a bigger F than that. 40 lash ladies and birching boys. Fill a sack with lovely oranges. Stay up late to flagellate. And, Nick, this is gonna hurt me a lot more than it's gonna hurt you.
You sick bastard, it's time to talk Tull to me. Oh! Thank you, sir. May I listen to another?
Oh, you may. Welcome back to the podcast. I am Omen Thomas Sade.
And I am Nick McGill.
Together, we are Feckless Momes.
And this, my little spitwads, is Talk Tull to Me.
A disciplinarian dalliance in the detention room of Prog Rock, in which non-compliant Nick and obedient Omen will take a braided willow branch to the backside of each and every trauma-inducing track that wooden ruler rock band Jethro Tull have ever locked in a dark closet. We will spare the rod and spoil Ryan O'Donnell, give Scott Hammond a superlative spanking with his own cymbal sticks, and apply deterrence to David Goodyear's sinful body. And if we can break just the right combination of religious rules, we just might get the experience of the leather strap of the pig-broke cap, the fishy floggings of the flutelist fluter, some hanky-spanky on our stanky-blanky, a whipping that gets us yipping from the penal code paddler. Ian, I'm less interested in children's rights than I am in children's wrongs. Anderson. Did the hanky-spanky on our stanky-blanky get you?
4 rhymes is exceptional. And the Anki is just such a funny rhyme.
It's very silly, yeah.
Yeah. You got me.
Yep.
You got me.
That reminds me, I have to go wash my stanky-blanky. Nick, hello.
Oh, man. Hello, welcome back. Here we are yet again.
The bell has rung. It is time to learn. And what is it that we will be teaching Tull about today?
We are teaching Tull about Chapter 5. Open your textbooks to Chapter 5.
I left mine at home.
Borrow the one from the closet.
Mommy and Daddy are fighting again.
I'm gonna act out in about 15 minutes.
I forgot my pants.
We are talking Chapter 5 out of Homo Eroticus. This is Meliora Sequamur.
Meliora Sequamur.
Squirma.
Or, in English, let us follow better things.
Let us follow better things. That's right.
And do we have a year designation for this?
This one is, I believe, the 1100s. Yes, 1100s. Broad strokes, just the 1100s.
Nice. Okay, that's great.
Nice. And Meliora Sequamur. Sequamur is the first person plural of sequor, to follow, which is where we get sequence and sequential.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Meliora is happiness or better. It's where we get honey is the Melissa.
Really?
But the honey, the Melia is honey, which is the honeybee is Melissa, is the Latin name for the honeybee.
Really?
And it's also where we get ameliorate to make something better.
That, yeah.
Yeah.
And both in French and in Italian, that root translates through.
Yeah.
Or even in Spanish. El mejor is the best or the better.
Oh, sure. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. There's your Latin lesson for today.
There's your little Latin lesson for today. Now drop and give me 30 lines. I don't know how school works, or discipline for that matter. Nick McGill.
Omen Thomas Sade.
Meliora Sequamur. Sequamur. What a charming ditty.
Is it?
Bit of a resting place on this album.
Is it charming?
I find it charming.
Yeah, it's a little charming. Yeah.
I'm charmed by, but I'm easily charmed.
That's true. That's true.
What does this do for you? This song?
It's okay. I think it kills the pace a little too much, if I'm honest.
Reminding ourselves, I am, that we're coming out of Puer Ferox Adventus.
Yes, Yoda. Yes.
And that was a big set piece. That was a big 7-minute long.
Yeah.
Hey, Constantine, nearly said Palpatine. Emperor Constantine making big changes in the Empire. On his deathbed, he says Christianity is an official or the official religion of Rome.
And he says, "Now I die.
Now I die. Wait, don't baptize me yet. Okay, now. And I'm out.
Palpatine out.
Palpatine out. Look how the Christians have disfigured me." Silly. So,
yes.
I agree that it's a step down in pacing. I don't know that it takes the wind entirely out of the sails. This album is a marathon.
It is. And I see and acknowledge the merits, but I think...
And I hate them.
And I hate them altogether. No, I think that... I don't know. I think a slow song there is good.
Okay.
But I'm not sure the presentation here works for me specifically.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is it because you have Catholic trauma?
I mean, it's possible.
Well, let's start out with what we hear.
Let's unpack that.
Let's repack that. We can fit a little bit more in there. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to put down on top of that so you make it a diamond of pain?
The first sound that we hear is the organ.
Yes, very fun. I'm assuming it is John's actual Hammond from tab 2.
It's possible. I'm really not sure because it sounds to me like it is doing a very good imitation of a pipe organ, the sort of pipe organ that you might find in a chapel.
That's right.
In a religious school.
That's right. Good call. Yes, it's very pipey. That's a good point.
So I don't know if that means it's a synth or if it's a setting on the Hammond. I don't know enough about organs. I keep trying to find out. But
I've intercepted all of those donors and nothing.
I've been asked not to come back to the examining room.
What's that one do? Sir, get out.
You have to get out of the operating room here.
Yes. So we have a brief little stint of just organ. Then the organ continues and we get some really nice guitar-y stings from Florian.
On the acoustic, though.
Is it acoustic?
I think it is.
Are you sure?
Well, maybe.
Everyone buckle up. Hang on. That's not acoustic.
It could be electric. It's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie.
Yeah, the first couple of notes really smack of electric, but the more I listen to it, the more it sounds like it could potentially be acoustic. But I do think it's electric.
I think it's electric. You've convinced me. Shortly after that, we have the addition of the Glock coming in.
Yes, so it goes up to about 13, 14 seconds, and then we get a complete break. And we get silence.
Yep.
Not a Steve Wilson. Is Steve Wilson the producer in this? I would feel
No.
He's not?
No.
Oh, this is Jacko. Yeah, this is Jacko. This is a Jacko silence. It's not that, like, I'm going to cut out everything and not even room tone version of silence that we get from Steven Wilson.
We've put the audience in an autonomic chamber.
Yeah.
In a sense deprivation room.
An anechoic chamber. It's just pure silence. Yeah.
Mortar can hurt and place come guide me.
I love the use of the Glock here because it is technically a keyed, it's like a keyed instrument.
Yeah.
I feel like it is a fascinating transposition of the grandness of this organ, of this pipe organ, down to a tiny, tiny scale. And because the song is talking about children learning it, to me, it kind of feels like here's this huge space and this huge, authority. And then here's the little itty bitty pupils kind of plinking along.
Yeah. And And it's so plinky and high pitched. It almost sounds like one of those like little Fisher Price, like rainbow colored ones. It sounds so teeny tiny.
At 35 seconds in, the bass joins us. Ian also joins us around when the Glock comes in.
Yes, yeah, not far off.
But then at about 35 seconds, we get the addition of the bass, and we get some multi-voice. It could be Ian doubled up, or it could be little Ryan O'Donnell getting in there.
I think it's Ryan in this one. I do. We hear him later at Cruel Bunter Bashing. He sings a verse all on his own, but I do think he's singing this chorus as well.
It makes sense. It would make sense if that were,
Yeah.
50 seconds in, it opens up a little bit. You know, this is a kind of standard Tull layering in of things.
Yep.
At 50 seconds, we have the drum, and the organ becomes a little bolder.
Insanely word and perfect grammar to academia's lofty space.
Yes. Yeah. The organ evolves through this. It doesn't get crazy. It doesn't get like wings or spikes or anything, but it evolves that it can breathe on land. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
The organ gets a little more flourishy, a little more
beep,
beep, beep. It's like kind of
fuller,
trailing up and down whereas it was just kind of keeping pace with the rhythm there. Yeah.
We don't hear Florian again until about a minute 42 in, and he doesn't come in roaring. It's just sort of some expressions on the guitar, on the electric guitar.
In the quiet hours of life's twilight, old school ties and photographs.
But it's like rock and roll adjacent. It's almost stingy. It's like,
yes.
Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, but it's not taking over. It's really, it's playing a supporting. It is another texture in the song rather than leading the charge.
Very supportive, yeah.
At 2 minutes, we have a musical theme from earlier on the album.
That's Doggerland, isn't it? At 2 minutes?
I think it is.
It's the start of the build-up in Doggerland. It doesn't go quite as far, but it's definitely the first couple of steps in there.
Right. And I suspect we're going to hear that come back and back and back again in this album. I think that's kind of a through line of this album.
I hope so. It's nice to spot those, and it's really...
It gives it cohesion.
It's exactly the word I was going to use. It really keeps it knit together and cohesive. And...
It cleaves.
Of course.
It cleaves to the album.
Isn't that strange that to cleave is
both
to
split apart and to
hold tight and to split apart. It's one of those silly
odd
words.
Silly.
We obviously have it on Thick as a Brick 1. We have pastiches of it in Thick as a Brick 2. But we haven't really seen it yet, I don't think, here on this concept album.
Is that having a theme that runs throughout?
Yeah, this repetition. Yeah.
Not yet, yeah, although I think we'll get some sense of it.
Yeah, I hope so.
We have a false ending which ends us on a little minor note, and then we have the real ending, which ends unresolved. It is an unresolved chord at the end.
Yes, it's very unsatisfying. It's not abrupt, I would say, but there is a fade out where it's like, and wait for it. Where is it?
And I'm in how much debt?
And what is let's see, after this is...
The Turnpike Inn, yeah.
The Turnpike Inn. Let me see what the Turnpike Inn sounds like when we start it. Yes, definitely unresolved, like my daddy issues. And then... don't know. It doesn't really flow into the Turnpike Inn. It's curious.
I think that it is maybe intentionally juxtaposing school learning, book learning, with street learning. The book learning of Meliora Sequamur. Sequumara.
You'll get there one day.
Sequamur.
There you go.
Sequamur.
Sequamur.
And the Turnpike Inn, because the Turnpike Inn is all about street smarts. I'm reaching here.
Okay, yeah, but that doesn't explain the unresolved at the end.
Well, I think that we all feel a little unresolved about our academic training. There is no end to one's learning.
Very, very valid.
You could spend your whole life studying and studying and studying and know less than when you went in.
I would love to do that. Can I do that? Will you be my patron?
I would love to be your patron.
Cool.
Will you be my patron?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, great.
Patronsies!
We're going to med school!
Ah, shit. I was just going to go do linguistics, damn.
No. Doctor, what are we going to do? Well, it's interesting. The duodenum dissolves from the root word duodenum. Duo. That'll be $100,000. He's dead! Oh, I'm sorry. That'll be $200,000.
Etymological surgery is what that is.
Yeah. Oh, and so for a final question for you, Nick.
Yes.
What time signature?
Oh, Jesus,
is
I didn't even
this song
try. Hang on, let me
in?
listen. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is it 6/4?
This is in what I like to call bastard time signature.
Oh, yeah.
It is 3 measures of 4/4
Okay.
and then 1 measure of 5/4.
Oh, it's 5. Okay.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4.
No, not cool.
It is in, what's 4 times 4?
16?
It is in 17/16 time. No, it's in 16/4. It's in 17/4.
There you go.
In 1744, Columbus went to the ocean blue.
Yes, you're right. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, see, it smacks of like a school song almost, like one you would sing at the start of the religious school day.
Yes, very much.
I wonder if it's playing on that. I wonder if that's like a traditional time signature of some kind or something.
I don't think that the time signature is, but I think that the overall vibe of the song certainly is. I think that while this is not my area of expertise, but a lot of early schools and even schools nowadays have religious connections.
Yeah.
We only have to look as far back as Thick as a Brick 2 to remember the chapel influence on the lives of boarding school children.
Yeah, right.
So this is something that would have been the mix of religion, music, and study would be an experience that united little British children for 1,000 years.
Yeah. It's just the way of life. It's just understood and accepted.
And so I would be shocked if Ian hadn't dribbled in a number of those references musically, rhythmically,
right,
in the way that you're suggesting. I just don't think it's the time signature.
Yeah. Yeah, probably not. I mean, it seems a little wild for children you want to keep tame in terms of the
drop the measure of
signature.
5/4. Yeah. I totally agree.
Any port in a storm, my friend.
You just have the one ADHD kid every 30 seconds going, 5! Oh, there goes Reginald again. Set the hounds upon him.
There's a Reginald shaped hole in the stained glass.
Yes. Yeah. Anything else to say musically about this song?
I'm afraid not.
It's a little on the quieter side. It's a little bit more contemplative.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's very reserved.
It's very reserved.
Mm-hmm. Omen, here we are.
Oh, thank you for coming. I'm glad that you made the time to come into my office. It's time that we talked about your grades, Nick.
Oh.
They are amazing.
Thank you. Oh, you gave me the runaround there.
I
Woo.
know. The only thing is, I was wondering if you could make them a little worse because you're making all the dumb kids feel bad. And
I'm ruining the curve.
They have it rough enough already.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you could come to class drunk.
Drunker?
Drunker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also, we'll subsidize it.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, socialism. Love it.
It's not ink in your bottles anymore. Nick, do we have anything to talk about here at the half?
Just a quick little comment on our heavy metals episode that dropped just this past Tuesday.
Oh.
On the 22nd. This is a comment on our YouTube from regular commentator Micah Noel.
Micah Noelle.
Happy Christmas to everyone. Micah Noel, thank you so much for writing in. Greatly appreciate your insight here. We have, I love the shout out to Viking death metal. As it happens, I would recommend Cursed to be Iron by Turisas. Turisas is a band that we've actually heard previously on the podcast with their cover of Broadsword.
Okay.
A fitting track for a Viking band, of course.
Yeah.
Cursed to be Iron is a unique first-person perspective of an element's journey from being a rock in nature to a material in the hands of a blacksmith.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I should also add that Viking metal enthusiasts are less prone to moshing. While the music is heavy, it's closely related to power metal and more focused on a nerdier subject matter than that of bands like Slipknot, who are more based on anger and aggression through music and inspiring the listener to break things. It's a shame that I only now realize I could have been your own senior heavy metal correspondent.
Hey, it's not too late.
It's not too late, Micah. I'll put in a sting here.
What is it? Cursed to be Iron? Oh, here we go.
Cursed to be Iron, yeah.
Oh, Cursed be Iron, I think.
Oh, Cursed be Iron.
I think it's Cursed be Iron. I'm trying to see if it's on Spotify.
Spotify.
Cursed be Iron.
Cursed be Iron.
Ooh, it's rumbly. Ooh, they have amazing album art. And that is my new bedtime track.
The complaint that I have is that what a really cool subject matter, but you'd never know.
Well, everyone likes different things.
He's so yelly.
Some people find that comforting.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. But I just find it
It's a lot.
a real barrier to
Sure.
understanding the story that we're getting here. That's all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
really, really dope if I wanted to just rage out. Like, I'd be good with it.
I'm going to try to find some lyrics.
Curses on thee, cruel iron, curses on the steel thou givest, curses on the tongue of evil, cursed be thy life forever.
You were a little hasty to say that they were angry. I love that it's in this old language. Once thou wert of little value, having neither form nor beauty, neither strength nor great importance, when in form of milk thou rested, when in ages thou wert hidden in the breasts of God's three daughters, hidden in their heaving bosoms on the borders of the cloudlets, in the blue vault of the heavens. That's great.
Like, very poetic. I love it a lot.
Very poetic.
I just want Ian to sing it.
Could you do it again, but without the yelling?
A little gentler this time, please.
Could we have Cursed Be Iron sung by Iron and Wine?
I would listen to the shit out of that one.
That is a band that I strongly dislike.
I know you hate them. Ray and I are thinking about going to see them on at Beacon Skiff. Yeah.
Ugh.
Can't understand it.
Ugh.
Your disgust, your hatred.
They just make me... No, thank you. Well, Mike and Noel, thank you so much for the insight on Viking metal, a wonderful genre worth exploring, whether or not it is your cup of tea. It's an interesting interesting genre.
Yeah, definitely. Agreed. I'm not poo-pooing it. Let's go on.
Welcome back to the second part of the podcast. It's time to talk about the lyrics. Do you know that there are people who train death metal singers on how to do those voices without hurting themselves?
That makes the utmost sense. I mean, you gotta.
You can learn it. It's a skill. Yeah.
I can't, personally, but...
So, Nick, we've already talked about what the phrase Meliora Sequamur means. It means let us follow better things. We've talked about some etymology. But what is this song about as we dive in here?
So, very loosely in mind, keeping that this is subtitled 1100s.
Mm-hmm.
This is the idea of going to school.
Yeah.
And certainly in the 1100s, it was probably heavily religious based.
Yeah.
And learning the education of the time to have a better life, to be an educated person, to move on.
Yes. So you were following better things in the sense that this was, if you were a boy, if you were born a man and you came from a certain class, you might be able to get into a school like this.
Yes.
And it would elevate your position in society. It would elevate your family's position in society. So you were following the better things that would come as a result of this. But I also think that in the 1100s, we sometimes, it's less popular these days to refer to those times as the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
But things were pretty rough. There were a lot of diseases. There was a lot of violence. And so this notion that religious education could put you into contact with things that were pure, that were literally better than the rest of the world.
Right. The opportunity for advancement, the opportunity for riches inherently pulls you out of the gutter, if you have that opportunity.
Then there are also the intellectual and spiritual riches to be had.
Correct.
We start, mortarboard, gown, hood, and lace. Come guide me in learning in ascension.
Mortarboard, gown, hood, and lace, come guide me in learning in ascension.
Well, those are all items of the typical trappings of scholars. The mortarboard is still what graduates wear in the United States, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Where minds may meet and twitters tweet in modern Latin in declension.
Where minds may meet and twitters tweet in modern Latin in declension.
Can you explain what the declension aspect of Latin is?
So you conjugate nouns and you conjugate verbs, you decline nouns.
I decline mostly phone calls. I decline credit card offers. I'm declenching as hard as I can.
So a declension would be, you've got a couple of different versions of a noun that we don't really have. It affects the ending of the ending that goes on the word that will then tell the speaker / reader, oh, this is the nominative genitive. So nominative is, if it's the subject, it's like basically like the first person of the item, of the noun.
Okay.
So I'm talking about the noun is in the nominative.
So depending, the ending might be um or as.
Yes.
Or various things, and that's where we get some of those typical sounding Latin,
words. I, us. I was always really bad at the declensions. I could do the conjugations, but not the declensions.
Well, and to your point that you kind of mentioned, Latin has more ways in which words change than English. In English, you're mostly just rearranging words, and sometimes they change an ending. In Latin, the endings are changing all the time, depending on the context and the usage. And the same word could mean something totally different in this context, based on how it's declenched.
Yeah, it was one of the trickier parts. I mean, and genitive means that is possessive. So, and then we get to and from, which is odd, which is like why we get adverse or adventure. That ad is the to.
Yes. Okay. This is also making me realize that at this time, Latin would have been very much a language of power, because it was the language for the church, but it was also the language of law. It was also the language of government.
Yeah.
And so if you could learn Latin, you suddenly had access to a different part of society, and
Right.
you had power.
Yeah, and at this point, there wasn't the vulgar Latin spoken, as Rome was not around anymore. You know, the Latin tongue wasn't
Right.
spoken. It was just the ecclesiastical, which is just a different pronunciation and used specifically in those separated pockets of society.
But within those segments of society and within, Europe broadly,
Yeah.
it would have been an international language. Like if you were English and you went to France, but you didn't speak any French, you could probably, but you knew Latin, probably somebody else spoke Latin.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. O Domine, O Magister. O Domine is O God, isn't it? Or O the Divine.
Well, yes, it means Lord or Master. So yes, it can be used as Lord, like capital L Lord, but it's also in ancient Rome, slaves referred to their owners as Domine.
Oh, wow. Ooh, interesting.
Domina or Dominus, the head of the house.
Interesting. So there's a little bit of a play already in Latin on the, am I talking about God or am I, as a student, enslaved to the school and the church?
Yes. Yeah.
And O Magister?
And Magister is also master or teacher. So it's Lord and Master, and then Master and Teacher.
Whew.
Both have that Venn diagram of master, but one is more
Religious.
and the other is more a master in terms of being imparted something.
Understood. So, O Domine, O Magister, we aspiring angels sing with one tongue forever young. Let us follow better things.
O Domine, O Magister, we aspiring angels sing with one tongue forever young. Let us follow better things.
Again, that image of all the school children, and we should really say school boys, because it would have been.
Yeah.
All being taught in a very strict format and all having to recite in the very same ways. I was reading just this couple of weeks ago a book about Western medicine and kind of its roots. And doctors, let's say in this age, this was when people were starting to train doctors. Well, the doctors would be very well versed on religious doctrine and philosophy.
Yeah.
And know nothing about the human body.
Yes.
But they would have a doctorate. And that was what set up so many of the problems that we still see in modern medicine.
Like you're saying a medical doctorate.
Well, yes, a medical doctorate at this time would have had very little to do with medicine and everything to do with religion and Latin and history and things like that.
Yeah. That's the foundation of a learned man. And then you can just tack a couple of things on for a lawyer or for a doctor or for someone in government.
Extra fees is what you tack on.
Yes, that too, yeah.
In saintly word and perfect grammar. This is when the drums have kicked in, I think.
Yes, I think so.
In saintly word and perfect grammar, to academia's lofty space, the trivitum and quadrivitum.
Trivium and quadrivium.
All baser thoughts now to efface.
In saintly word and perfect grammar, to academia's lofty space, the trivium, quadrivium, all baser thoughts now to efface.
What is the trivium? Is that the Holy Trinity?
Nope, that is the foundation to medieval and Renaissance education. The trivium meaning three roads, so tri, and then vium, via, is road.
And what were the three roads?
The three roads are the verbal arts, which is grammar, logic, and rhetoric. And the quadrivium, which is the four roads, is the mathematical arts, which would be arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy.
What were the verbal ones again?
Grammar, logic, and rhetoric.
Wow. And then math was?
Mathematics, geography, music, and astronomy.
Geography?
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting way of breaking down, all the things that you could study there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and because it's religious, they like the number 3, they like the number 7. There's obviously some sort of connection there, I imagine.
Yes. A pity that we don't study logic, rhetoric, and grammar anymore.
I'd love to. Yeah, you're going to be my patron for that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and you're going to be my patron for geography and music.
Oh, is it? It's not geography. Hang on a second.
It's geometry, isn't it?
Geometry, not geography. I need to study geography. That's the problem.
Well, but if you know geometry, you can study geography because it's all triangles. That's how they made the maps of Europe and of the world. They were like, well, just put triangles together until it's all done.
Yeah. Well, that's the basis behind the sextant as well, isn't it? Triangles.
They trividiumed it.
They trivialified it. The trouble with triviums.
So the trivium and the quadrivium all baser thoughts now to efface. That is this notion that a student was a tabula rasa, which to a certain extent had to be a little erased first before it could be filled.
Yeah.
This idea that children are empty vessels to be filled with knowledge rather than a little bit more of a modern context where we see, oh, this is an individual who has their own proclivities and we should ask them what they're interested in and then say, no, that's wrong. You're not going to study YouTube. You're going to study how to be a banker.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the same concept as you're not left-handed.
Yes.
No, but that feels like I should be writing with, no, you're not. No. You're not left-handed.
Oh, well, if you feel that way, we'll beat it out of you.
Right. Satan is living in your sinister hand. Use the right one. So
that is a great segue. Yeah, so then we do have a reprise of O Domine O Magister.
Yeah.
But the next verse starts with the punishments.
Yes, which is Ryan singing this.
Yes, and he does such a lovely job.
He's got such a good voice.
There's something very...
It's choir boy-y to me.
Yes, he doesn't sound like a pop star.
No.
He sounds like a nice guy that you'd be happy to give the church solo to on Easter.
He's wearing a polo and slacks, and his hair is side parted and slicked down.
He only wears those slacks once a year.
That's it.
Twice if there's a funeral.
Once on his birthday.
Cruel bunter bashing, cane a thrashing, lines detention soon forgot. O dark ploy, this grammar boy has paid the price and bought the lot.
Cruel bunter bashing, cane a thrashing, lines detention soon forgot. Oh dark ploy, this grammar school boy has paid the price and bought the lot.
Why don't we go on? In the quiet hours of life's twilight, old school ties and photographs, I call to mind the sore behind, the tears, the last and longest laughs.
In the quiet hours of life's twilight, old school ties and photographs, I call to mind the sore behind, the tears, the last and longest laughs.
I actually think this might be my favorite verse.
Mine too.
Just from the way that it all fits together poetry-wise.
Mm-hmm.
What is a bunter bashing?
So I couldn't find what a bunter is. What I think is a cruel bunter bashing cane a thrashing. I think the rhyme scheme works well there, but I think the cruel bunter is like the asshole who's whipping me kind of thing.
Do you think that this is Ian's Divine Comedy moment where he's like, I'm going to take that headmaster that I really hated and put him into my song forever?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, that's why Ian left school, is because he didn't agree to be whipped. He didn't agree to corporal punishment, remember?
That's true.
Yeah.
That is so true. Okay, so the fact that this is so calmly sung is hilarious.
And it's not Ian. He had someone else sing this part.
Couldn't even speak that name.
He couldn't take it.
Frickin' Bunter. Yeah, I think it's probably Headmaster Bunter or First Boy, Best Boy Bunter, whatever, who was in charge of the lashings.
Yeah.
Somebody who really cared about the children. Well, and there was this whole idea at the time of corporal punishment being an extremely positive thing. In the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, he says, he that spareth the rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chastiseth him betimes.
Yeah.
Or Proverbs, a fool's lips enter into contention, his mouth calleth for strokes. Whoosh.
Yeah. Spare the rod, spoil the child.
That's how we hear, yep.
Yeah. It's the idea of discipline, and a child can't understand the logic behind discipline, so you have to give them consequences until they can understand that discipline. And the consequence is beating the shit out of them.
Well, and that was kind of on the nice side of things, in different parts of Europe during the medieval ages, the parts that were controlled by Byzantium would often remove the noses from criminals.
Yes, right.
Or political opponents. There was a belief that any emperor should be physically ideal, and so if they were missing a nose, they therefore couldn't be emperor.
Wow.
Of course, this article says the second reign of Justinian the Slit-Nosed was the notable exception. There's always an exception to the rule.
The slit-nosed. Wow.
Yeah. Which Justinian are you talking about? The guy with the great hair. No, I don't.
His nose.
Oh, the slit-nosed.
Yeah, we don't like to talk about it.
However, there were people speaking out against corporal punishment, especially the use of it toward children. In the 11th century, the Archbishop of Canterbury was saying that it shouldn't be too excessive.
Too excessive.
These days, there are a number of countries who have prohibited corporal punishment in any form. Guess who's not on that list?
We're going to be top on the country who encourages punishment any day now. I'm sure of it.
The US is not on that list. Neither is the UK.
Oh, the call was coming from inside the house.
Although apparently it is pretty well prohibited in Wales and in Scotland.
Good. Good.
Yeah, so interesting stuff. A long part of human history. Negative reinforcement, not good for training.
Yeah. And then the end, though, is really kind of, the end of that verse is actually kind of sweet. It's like bittersweet almost. In the quiet hours of life's twilight, like when you're winding down, you're getting old and you can't really do much. So all you've got is your memories, as long as you've got them. Old school ties and photographs. Old school ties I really like is like the physical school tie, but like old friends, old ties to
and
that
also,
school.
yes, yeah, the double.
I call to mind the sore behind, the tears, but the last and longest laughs.
It's so interesting, the way this verse is written, because it starts with, here are all the bad things that happen, but we soon forgot them.
Yeah.
And then in the end of life, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm remembering all that trauma.
I remember those. Yeah. 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 And then last and longest laughs is, there's no T in laughs. Laughs.
Laughs.
The last and longest laughs is, I think we've got a little double there as well, because we're talking about the old school ties, like the old friends. You laugh a lot and, you remember that time when you had a good time, but also the phrase, the last laugh.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
Who has the last laugh? The person who has succeeded.
And it's not totally clear who does get the last laugh here.
Right.
Is it the Punisher because they're making you think of them on your deathbed after they're long gone?
Yes. Yeah.
Or is it that the reason you got punished in the first place was because of that really funny thing your friend said? And because you were whipped for it, the memory is even more ingrained.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I like that a lot.
It's interesting. They've done a lot of studies that show that corporal punishment is very ineffective at basically anything except making people hate you.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, final verse. Significantly, there's no O Domine to follow up that verse. That is a
Correct.
standout verse in the sense that it does not have that ending.
I would almost call that a bridge, since that's Ryan as well.
I'd call it a bridge because it goes over a river.
Oh, it does. I didn't see that. I'll look down.
Oh, don't fall. Oh, you get 40 lashings for being wet.
Sploosh.
That's the last sploosh you'll ever splash. 30 whippings with a wet noodle. Empty desks and inkwells, darkened chapels, cobweb corridors, silent now. Ghostly purple robes and dusty trencher. What could be holier than thou?
Empty desks and inkwells, darkened chapels, cobweb corridors, silent now. Ghostly purple robes and dusty trencher, what could be holier than thou?
Trencher is the wooden plate that you put your normal plate on.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's also it also means something different here.
You think so?
Yeah. It may have some religious significance. I mean, it could be the wooden plate, but it just feels kind of out of place there.
Yeah, it could be. Oh, the trencher is also an old-fashioned term for the mortarboard hat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they're talking about the ghostly purple robes. So yeah.
Also, a trencher was very common in the medieval ages. It could be used as a plate. It could be used as a plate for the plate. It could be used to put bread on. So it's interesting.
So it's a plate.
It's similar to a plate.
It's plate adjacent.
It's plate adjacent.
Perfect. I knew it. I knew you'd do that for me. Thank you.
I'm pretty predictable. So we're describing this kind of abandoned school.
Yeah.
Empty desks, empty inkwells, darkened chapels which should be full of light.
Corridors are full of cobwebs and silent.
The ending of this confuses me. Is it saying that the school, that type of school itself no longer exists, that the power that school once held is dissipated? Are these the empty cobwebs, corridors of his heart? What are we saying here in the end?
I think it's the first one, to be honest. I think it's that type of school did not last.
But it's weird because they sort of did.
Yeah, but I mean, not in that exact same way. It evolved. You know, it evolved a little bit. It's not so staunch. The abuse is couched in other things, so it's not so blatant.
The abuse is more purely psychological now.
Yeah.
We end with O Domine, O Magister, we aspiring angels sing, with one tongue for every young, let us follow better things, Meliora Sequamur. We may follow better things.
Yeah.
Is it saying we can follow better things than this educational system at the end?
Yeah, maybe. May we follow better things? Is it
better than that?
Yeah, moving on from that, anything's going to be better.
It could be. That's an interesting...
You know, it's that period of life where you're just like, well, I have to deal with this shit until I graduate.
Oh my gosh. I can't describe the feeling of relief I had when I finally graduated from college, when I was like, that is the end of my expected, what I'm expected to do. I felt so light.
Now I can F around Europe for a while and then live on a farm in Italy. And
I did that during school. Thank you very much.
That's right. Yeah. The woof, is that what it was called? Woofing?
Woofing, yeah. Just to review some of the oldest schools in the UK, in the 6th century, we had the King's School in Canterbury. It was an abbey.
Oh, these aren't the oldest that are still around. They're just like the oldest, like, documented schools. Or is it the existent?
This one is still open.
Oh, okay.
Then we have the King's School in Rochester, in Kent. We have St. Peter's School. This was in the 7th century. A lot of these are still around.
Wow.
The earliest colleges, the earliest universities, was Oxford, founded around 1200.
That's so bonkers to me.
Cambridge, founded just a couple of years after that. University of St. Andrews in Scotland, founded in the early 1400s. And a lot of these have such a connection to religion. They are in some ways inseparable from.
Right. I mean, it's in the mortar holding those stones together at this point. I mean, that's what it was.
The motto of Oxford is Dominus Illuminato Mea. The Lord is my light.
Yeah. And I don't think they're talking about the teacher.
They're not talking about a light bulb.
The Lord changed my light bulb.
How many lords does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, if you believe hard enough.
Can the Lord create a light bulb that is too far away that even he can't screw it in? Yeah, paradox. Paradox. Squawk.
Nick McGill.
Omen T. BS.
Now that we have matriculated from track 5 off of this album, what is it that we will be moving on to? What better things will we be moving on to next week?
Chapter 6. It is an autobiography of Ian in his younger days, back in the 1750s when Ian was like just 20 or so.
Yeah.
It is the Turnpike Inn when he was a bit of a scamp.
Ooh, I'm excited about this one. This is one of the tracks I really enjoy off this album, and can't wait to talk about it next week. Until next week, if you haven't joined our Discord, there are better things for you there than where you are not on Discord now.
Meliora Discordia.
Exactly. I wouldn't have said that. Until next week, my purple robes are dusty. I'm Omen Thomas Sade.
I am in the quiet hours of my life's twilight. I am Nick McGill.
We sing with one tongue. We are the Feckless Momes.
And this is the song sung by aspiring angels, Talk Tull to Me.
O Domine, O Magistrate.
Squirrel Mavrorum.
I would have gotten beaten so hard if I was in one of these schools.
You would have liked it.
Why? Why are you smiling? This is another 40 lashes.
Punish me, Domine. Punish me. I've been naughty.
New teacher here. Don't whip that one. He gets too into it. Oh, how do I punish him? Just take attention away from him. He'll be a mess.
Ignore him. He'll just be a pile.
Can't stand it.